Well, good morning. Happy Friday. One Virginia dude out here again. Um, Not much. Well, there's a lot going on. There's just not a lot I want to discuss today, but I did see something on Yahoo News that caught my interest. Um, Being retired from the transportation industry, I'm constantly uh, fascinated by how energy is created and distributed and what it takes to keep the country moving, be it fossil fuels like coal, oil, petroleum, natural gas, and whatnot, or alternatives such as solar, wind, nuclear, tidal power, geothermal, and things like that. But nevertheless, on Yahoo News, they said that Valero and Phillips 66, which are both oil companies, are going to begin shutting down their refineries in California next year. Um, right now, gasoline around here is right around $3 a gallon, give or take a nickel. Some parts of the country, it's down as low as 250 or 260. And in California, apparently, they're still paying almost $5 a gallon for gasoline. So now that you're going to see two more refineries go offline, is this part of Gavin Newsom's war on energy? Um, he's trying to drive out internal combustion fossil fuel engines from the state. I believe he was trying to do it by 2035. There's no way in hell that's going to happen. But what they're doing is they're crushing the supply. They're inhibiting the supply, but the demand isn't going down. People are not getting rid of their gasoline powered cars. Sure, electric vehicles have their place, but they're never going to totally supplant gasoline powered cars and trucks. It's just not going to happen. Um, so the question remains, how much of this nonsense are people in California going to put up with before they change their freaking voting habits? Why do they keep voting for these idiots who like inflict misery on them? People in California voting for these left-wing Democrats, it's like chickens voting for Colonel Sanders or the uh, Benai Barith holding an election to invite Al Sharpton to be their keynote speaker. This stuff just doesn't make sense. What I'm thinking about California is that the people who can get out, the people who are able to leave, do so. But so many of them bring their bad ideas to somewhere else. If they go to Colorado or they go to New Mexico or Arizona or Nevada or Wyoming or Montana or whatnot, they get there and they're like, oh, wow, we love it here. But then they vote the same way they voted in California. Here in Virginia, we have the same problem. We have people who flee high tax, poorly run states like New York, New Jersey, Illinois, maybe California, Massachusetts, and whatnot, Connecticut. Where the taxes are really high, everything's expensive, the quality of life sucks, and then they come somewhere else, and then they vote for the same people who made it the way it was where they used to live. Well, then why not just stay there if that's what you want? It's kind of like some of the people who come to the United States from other countries, and then they get here and then they want to replicate everything the way it was back home. Well, then why not just stay there? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. But Valero and Phillips 66 are pretty big companies. I believe Phillips is owned by Conoco now. It was a red and white sign, CONOCO. But this they should be doing things to encourage energy production. Just because you believe in solar and wind power doesn't mean you should hold a war against fossil fuel. I mean, the two can coexist. We need to broaden our energy matrix. If we really want to have a growing economy in this country, then why limit ourselves? We've got coal, we've got oil, we've got natural gas. We have geothermal, we have tidal power, solar and wind. Hydrogen fuel cells offer some promise for the future as well. But you can't have a growing economy unless you have affordable, abundant, and reliable sources of energy to produce that electricity. So, even if you could get everybody to use an electric car, well, what happens in California? They tell people, well, you don't charge your car between, 4 and 8 p.m. Well, if you have just a couple people on your block with a Tesla and they come home and they plug it in, what happens when the wife starts a load of laundry or the husband goes to turn on the oven to cook dinner or something? You're going to have all that demand on the power, and then you run the risk of rolling blackouts or brownouts or whatnot. People don't think these things through very well, and it's just frustrating. But California is a beautiful state. Miles of coastline. You've got mountains. You've got desert. You got forests. You've got ski areas. You've got lakes. You've got farmland. You've got desert. You got everything. California should be, like a very, very prosperous place. But instead, it's like they've killed the middle class. You've got the wealthy elites, and then you've got everybody else just struggling to get by. And the solution is always, well, let's make government bigger and have more taxes, and we can put more people on some kind of welfare program. That doesn't sustain itself very well. But anyway, I'm kind of tired. I didn't have much else to say. I had a funny joke. Maybe I'll save it for later. So, anyway, hope everybody has a peaceful day and get outside, enjoy yourself, and enjoy your weekend.